What's up, Catfish fans? So you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, or maybe you just want to capture those memories to have for years to come. What I want to do is I want to help you learn an easier way than I learned of how to use an action camera, whether it be GoPro or any of the others, and be able to capture those moments without constantly having problems. Because believe me, if you don't know how to set up, you will constantly have problems. If you do know how to set up, you're still occasionally going to have problems. Hey, y'all hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get into this one. All right, y'all. So I kind of got the camera set up a little low. I may be out of frame, out of focus here every now and then, but I want you to be able to see what's going on here. All right. So you're a fisherman, you're a hunter, whatever you do outdoors, and you're wanting to use an action camera, this right here will help you. The first thing I'll tell you, if you take an action camera and just start filming outside, you have, especially in the summertime, you have maybe 5 to 10 minutes before it overheats and shuts off if you're running it with an internal battery. Keep that in mind. So automatically from that, you pick up, you want to run it with an external battery. Here's the deal with that. If you don't really do some homework, you cannot run an action camera with just any external battery. That's what we're going to dive into right now. So, right out the gate, if you're going to be filming outside, even if it's 75 degrees, whatever temperature is, I advise it in the wintertime as well. I've had these cameras overheat and shut down in the wintertime with the internal battery. So if you're going to be filming outdoors for long periods of time, this is what you absolutely have to have if you're going to use a GoPro. It's also going to apply to any other action camera because these action cameras are not designed to withstand a lot of heat. These action cameras are designed to be compact, click it on, click it off, catch clips now and then. They're not designed to run for long, to record for extended periods of time. They're not designed for that. But there are ways to work around that. And you'll see people mount fans and, a fan with a tube, it runs up and goes in the back. And that's all fine and good. If it works for them, that's fine. I'm not willing to do all of that. And I had major problems trying to get to where I am now, but I think I have finally got to where they're going to work for me most of the time. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, this is a GoPro Hero 9. The 9 is the best that I have. I have a 9, I have two 10s. The 10s are garbage. Do not buy a GoPro Hero 10. They are garbage from the get-go. They have too many bugs. They have too many problems. I mean, it's the GoPro Hero 10 is garbage. There's no change in my mind. The 9 has been pretty good to me. I hear that the 13 is a really good camera. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. At the point I am now with the GoPro cameras, if I were to switch or to upgrade, I'll be going with a DJI. The Osmos Action 5 Pro seems to be the one to go with right now. So if you're starting fresh, I pretty well recommend that you go ahead and buy that camera right out the gate. That's where I would be going next. If I decide to stop using GoPro, which I'm that far from doing, I'll be going to DJI next. With that being said, even if you use the DJI, you're going to want to have these same components to run the DJI, or it's just going to overheat and shut off too. Any of these compact action cameras running long periods of time, that's what's going to happen with an internal battery. So you may as well know this and have this, whatever camera that you're going to run. So the first thing we'll touch on, let's start with the camera. So you went out, you bought you a GoPro, all right? You're gonna mount this GoPro somewhere on the boat, somewhere in the deer stand, somewhere on your race truck, somewhere on your side-by-side, and just let it run, okay? If you do that with an internal battery, it's gonna shut off every 5 to 15 minutes from overheating, and you will lose your clips left and right. You won't have any video footage. You think, well, if it shuts off, I'll just let it cool down. I'll click it, start it back. It'll be ready to go. No, sir. You're going to lose all your files, or they're going to be corrupted. That's even worse because you can see them in there, but you can't get them off. And man, that's a pain. I have lost so much footage over the last couple of years trying to do this from these cameras corrupting my files from overheating. Another thing I'll tell you, we buy these high dollar mini SD cards. I buy the SanDisk Extreme and the Samsung Pro something or other, all right? Some of these little mini SD cards are $50 to $60 a piece. Once this camera overheats a couple of times, it ruins that card. The card may work now and then, and I'm not talking about this has happened with one. So if somebody tells you, oh, no, that's not true, because I've had people try to tell me, including GoPro, that that's not what's happening. But GoPro has also tried to tell me a lot of other things that they're full of crap on, okay? That's the easiest way to put it. GoPro's customer support, all they know how to do is about like any other technical customer support. Have you upgraded the firmware? That's the biggest, that's what they're going to first. Yes, it's upgraded to the newest version. A lot of times when you upgrade it to the newest version, it has even more problems because they haven't tested the newest version in that scenario. But that's the first place they're going to go. Then they're going to ask you about your power cable. They're going to ask you about your external battery pack. They're going to ask you, are you running GoPro original batteries? They're going to ask you a whole lot of things, and then at the end of the day, it's going to be your fault. You must be doing something wrong. It's definitely not the camera. They can't find anything. I've got a 10 right here. This camera right here, since it was brand new, has gave me fits every kind of way, including what I'm about to tell you to do. This camera has gave me fits. This camera has been back to GoPro. They sent it back, said it was fine. This camera does not work. There is no way they use this camera with the cards, what I'm using, that I sent with this camera, and that's what they told me. There's no way they use this camera for more than 15 minutes and it continued to work. No way. I don't care what they say, they didn't do it. They turned it on, they powered it on, it started recording, they let it run for 30 seconds. It'll do that, and then they sent it back. Guarantee you that's what they done. Guarantee. And then I'm the fool. Something, you know, that's the way it goes dealing with GoPro support. So that's something to know right out the gate. I have not dealt with DJI support yet, so we'll see how that goes in the future because I'm pretty sure I'm going that way. But anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole, messing up the whole video. All right, so let's start now. Let's go to the camera, all right? This is a GoPro Hero 9. I've already said this. All right, so I've bought my first GoPro now, right? You've bought your first GoPro now. The first thing you want to do, you're going to mount this, like I said a while ago, somewhere on the boat. It's going to face this direction. It's going to stay there all the time. Maybe I move it around a little bit, whatever. But I want this camera to record all the time. You need 3 things besides the camera. You need 4 things. I'm sorry. I just thought of the other one. You've got the camera. Now you need a media mod. You need this case. If you can see, I'm not going to take it off, but if you can see, this GoPro is in a case. This is an external microphone. This microphone, the shotgun mic, whatever you want to call it, it actually does pretty good. It's a directional mic, and if you're standing out in front of this camera, as long as you're turning, like a lot of times in my videos, I get a crick in my neck trying to turn to talk to this microphone right here. But as long as you're turned toward this mic, I mean, you can be 20, 30 feet away and it actually picks up pretty good. So that part works really well. So that could knock one of the 4 things I said off of our list, depending on what you prefer. All right. So we've got the camera. We've got the media mod for the camera. All right. We've got to have both of those things. The next thing that we have to have is a power bank. We have to have a power bank because we're not going to be able to run this with that internal battery. It's going to get hot. It's going to shut off. We're going to lose our footage. That's going to happen. Your power bank, you cannot go and just buy any old power bank. I highly recommend this power bank is from High Lucky. I am affiliated with this brand. I've sold some of these on TikTok or whatever. This one actually solar charges, so it's got a built-in solar panels here. It's got 4 built-in solar panels, and this thing will recharge by solar from the sun. So you can lay it out on the deck, and that's pretty handy. But I highly recommend either this or I have an Anker. Anker makes a fantastic power bank. I also have a YOLOTech on the way, but we'll get into that later. But you can't buy just any power bank, okay? Your power bank has to put out 5 volts and 2 or more amps. If you buy a 5 volt that puts out 1.5 amps, and you hook it to this camera's going to tell you battery required, not enough power, and it's going to shut off. Sometimes it'll go ahead and record. Then, for no reason, it'll just shut off. Once it does that, you could have been recording a half a day. Most of the time, you're going to lose all your footage. With this 10, even hooked to the right power bank, 5 volts, a 2 to 3 amp output, even hooked to the right power pack, this camera still tells me that sometimes. We'll get into that in a minute. This 10 has never given me a problem. As long as it's 5 volts and 2+ amp output, this camera has never given me a problem. The exact camera is this camera, okay? Ordered them on the same day. Both of them come in. Both of them have been that way since I got them. This one, even hooking it up to the correct power bank, tells me not enough power and shuts off. This one has never done that. Each time I've upgraded firmware in these cameras, they've been upgraded on the same day. I don't update through the GoPro app. I update manually through the SD card. It's the first thing GoPro is going to tell you. I don't even try to update through the app. I go online, I put the firmware on the SD card, put the SD card in the camera, update the firmware. That's the way I do it, okay? So, sometimes you just get one that's junk. Sometimes you get a good one. Unfortunately, when you get one that's junk, they're not going to do anything about it. They're going to tell you that you're a dumbass, for lack of a better term. That's what's going to happen. They're not going to do anything else about it. That's GoPro. All right? So, with that being said about the power bank, the cord that you choose has to be rated for the same. 5 volts and at least 2 amp output. It needs to be. I have some 3 amp output cords that work. I have some 3 amp output power banks that work. But it needs to be 5 volt, 2 amp output is what it needs to be. I think they actually say 2.1 amp output. But then if you read on, the 2 amp output does work. So this does work. That's what I'm saying. But the cord needs to match the power bank. 5 volt and a minimum of 2 amp output, okay? So now we've got the power bank covered, we got the cord covered, we got the camera and the media mod covered, all right? You want an external microphone, right? You don't want a crick in your neck turning around trying to talk to this mic. I don't blame you. We want an external microphone, okay? So that goes back to having this media mod, all right? One thing you have to watch, a lot of your external mics that you order now have a Type-C USB connection. Using this camera with the media mod, you only have one Type-C USB port. I don't have any idea if y'all can see that, but you only have one Type-B USB port, Type-C USB port, sorry. That is going to be for your power. Keep this in mind. GoPro does sell an adapter that will give you an extra Type-C port or an extra 1/4-inch jack port. My experience with that $90 adapter is that it's just like this camera. Absolute junk. It's no good. So I don't recommend doing that. What I recommend doing is get you an external microphone, lavalier, I believe they're called. This will be your mic right here. All right. I also have a new microphone coming because this is just a cheap Amazon microphone, and it don't last long enough. I get about 5 hours out of it, and it'll shut off the receiver. So this is the receiver for it that actually has to plug into your camera. All right. So the receiver will go dead. The microphone will still be blinking and have power. The receiver will go dead, and there's nothing that tells you that. So you may have 2 hours of footage where you had no sound, no audio. So that's not good. Now, when you buy one of these, whatever type of microphone you buy, okay, and it comes with the receiver, the output receiver, guess we'll call it. I don't know what you want to call it. But anyway, it needs to have the 1/4-inch jack. All right. And that goes back to the media mod. Right below that Type-C, right below it, the very bottom there, the media mod is set up for a 1/4-inch jack. Okay. Now, you might be thinking, simple enough. Not so fast. You've got that little rubber door right there that opens up. If you just have this and you plug it right into there, now that little rubber flap is touching your screen. And believe it or not, when you're moving around or the boat's moving or whatever, that little flap will start touching your screen and making your camera go crazy. So what you want is a jack extension, okay? This is just little things that's going to save you a lot of headache. You put this jack extension in there also for 2 reasons. The little flap is the main problem, but also it's hard to have that receiver plugged in there and your power cord plugged into that Type-C, okay? So with that jack extension, now we put our receiver in there, and it's way out away from the camera. The little rubber piece is resting against the jack extension instead of against the screen, and we've got plenty of room to plug up our Type-C right above it, okay? You need that receiver and an extension hooking up this way, all right? So, no internal battery. Do not put a battery in your camera if you're gonna record for long periods of time, okay? If you do, and once it starts overheating, it is going to overheat. Once it starts overheating, it's gonna start destroying your mini SD cards. Just destroying them. Every time it destroys one, it's 30 to 60 to 80 bucks, depending on how many gigabytes you're running out the door. So don't even worry about it. Now, As far as the internal battery, don't even worry about it. For this camera, for this setup right here is the setup that we're using. Let's move old Junker here. This is the setup that we're using to film all day. This is the setup that we're using to get them takedowns. This is the setup we're using to get that, that shot. Whatever it is, this is the setup we're using for that. No internal battery, power bank, cable, microphone, if you want it. If not, media mod, for sure, have to have it. All right. If you are going to run internal batteries, say in whatever camera, if you're going to run a chest rig and you're just going to turn that camera on and off now and then, get you one of these. Don't really matter what kind. You can see the brand of this one right here. But this thing, put you a couple of batteries in here. You keep the box itself charged up, and you can put you a couple of batteries in there, and it keeps your batteries hot while you're out on the water. So the box itself holds the charge, and as you swap your batteries out throughout the day, you can just drop them back in here. It charges them back up. You don't have to have as many batteries with you. Now I do still keep this with me just in case, because when this little camera will run, I do use internal batteries in it, just on and off, on and off. So I do recommend having one of these if you're on and off filming, like a couple minute clips at a time, and are running the internal battery. At the end of the day, I don't recommend that you run an internal battery at all, unless you're filming something in the house maybe, or whatever the case may be, where the camera, well, you would think it was not going to overheat, but I don't care if it's 60 degrees in the house. After a few minutes, usually inside, you get about 15 to 20 minutes out of it before it overheats and starts to ruin your SD cards. All right. Okay, so chest rig. This is what I run. This is what I run for that view. For when you're seeing what I'm seeing, this is what I'm running. All right. This is a GoPro Hero 10. This is a shade mate. I ordered this off Amazon, and then I realized that YoloTech also makes one of these. YoloTech is a veteran-owned company. Had I known that before I ordered this one, no offense to Shade Mate here off Amazon, because I mean this does the job, but I would have bought the YoloTech and supported the veteran-owned company if I had known. You do what you want to do. This one's cheaper, but I would have bought from the veteran. That's just what I'd have done, okay? You do what you want to do. This is Shade Mate off Amazon. It is cheaper. All right, so your camera, nothing fancy going on here. Looks like it maybe, but nothing fancy going on here. Your camera will slip into this 3D printed case, open on the back. It just pushes in, okay? Power cable hooks into the side here. They've left a little place there for it. They have a door that comes with it that goes on the GoPro that grooves into the side here. That's what kind of keeps everything in place. Once you slide it in, power cord goes through that door. Also comes with some little, I forget what they're called, but little waterproof gel balls, that you can smash around your cable. I can't remember what they're called right at the moment. Let's just call them little waterproof gel balls, okay? But anyway, comes with a couple of those, and you can buy a whole bunch of them at Walmart for a little bit of nothing if you need this thing to get wet for whatever reason. I try to keep mine dry all I can. All right, GoPro Hero 10 in the Shade Mate in this case with an Anker power pack, and I've just got it Velcroed to the back of my chest rig here. Again, I have a different power source coming that's smaller than this because this one's kind of heavy, weighs everything down. This one's more suited for this camera that's just mounted somewhere filming. If y'all like this video, get in the comments, let me know. Whenever I get these other battery packs and everything in, I'll do another one just to kind of cover what I've got, how I lightened up everything, because this does get aggravating, hanging, flopping all over you. That power pack's a little heavy. And when you add it, the camera with it, I mean, it does get a little heavy. But anyway, that's even the way I run my chest rig. I don't use the internal batteries at all anymore. I even started having problems with the chest rig overheating with the internal batteries, so I don't do that anymore. So same setup, 5 volts, 2 amp output, 3 amp output will work. Anything less than that, if it's a 1 amp output, 5 volts, camera's gonna shut off. You don't wanna do that. But anyway, so that's my chest rig. Get her over here. That's my chest rig. This is my all-day rig. Don't forget that media mod if you go to set up one of these. I hope this helps. I hope this gives you an idea what you can use to actually make these cameras work. I'm not the only person that's having this problem. There's a whole lot of people having this problem. And I've even talked to some guys that have completely quit filming. They want to do YouTube or they want to just make the memories, and they've completely quit doing it because of the camera situation. And I understand, because I've been there. I've been to the point where I wanted to quit. Oh yeah. One other thing, if you're going to film at night, you have to have one of these. This is just a cheap light that I got off Amazon. There's my brand, or there's the brand. Got some power settings and things up here, but it's got a cold shoe mount. That's something that I needed to talk about right here. This media mod has 2 cold shoe mounts, one on top, one on the side. So what I can do, I'm out there catching them big old fish at night, and we need to be able to see. I can mount that light right here on top. I'll turn her on for you, and kind of light up the world. See what we're looking at. So need that. I forgot that. But I think that does it. I think that gives you a good step in the right direction to get you started. If you're thinking about filming your fishing trips, your hunting trips, your outdoor adventures, whatever you're thinking about doing, I hope that helps. I know 100% it's going to save you a lot of headache. And just like I said, don't matter what camera you're going with, if you're using the action style camera, these little small cameras, they're just not made to film for long periods of time. So you have to work around that. And you have to find ways of keeping them cool. One thing I will say, there's a couple of companies out there making cases that they go in that's got little fans on them to keep them cool. I don't recommend that. And the reason I don't, it works great, but you can hear the fan. So your viewers are going to tune out on you when they hear that humming in the background. Works great. Probably the easiest way to keep them cool. But if you're doing it for the public to watch, I do not recommend doing it. If you do that and you hear that buzzing in the background, they hear that buzzing in the background, they're going to tune out. They're not going to watch. Kind of like now, I got a dehydrator going making some jerky. That buzzing, hopefully it didn't make y'all tune out. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching this one. I hope this helps you. Hit that like and subscribe for me. Help me keep growing the channel. I'll see you in the next one.